Hello, true believers. This is our 25th episode of our comic book pull list for January 30th, the last week in the month. And we are finishing this first month of 2019 with a bang. I know everybody have seen the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer, but I just had to say something about it. As a Spidey fan, I am way too happy about seeing this. And those are not elementals and those are not Marvel villains. They're just contraptions that Mysterio has made. So don't get your panties in a bunch and don't get too excited, but still just really awesome just to see that. And for some reason I'm more enthusiastic about seeing that than any other Marvel movie. But we're going to get through this. And another thing that happened this week, George Perez has announced his retirement from mainstream comic books, I guess due to age and health reasons and such. He ain't been putting out too much work anyway, but we really have enjoyed having him around for everything that he's done, from Teen Titans to Avengers to his Avengers JLA crossover. He's just a really, really great guy. Always at the cons, very nice. And he always has his commissions and stuff are usually used for charity work. And I believe he'll still be doing that. And I heard that the commissions will probably be more money now. But, if I would say cheers or anything, there's to George Perez, who will always be happy to have his work. And we're going to go through these books rather quickly. And it's a good week this week. And a lot of stuff happening at the end of the month, not just in comics, but in pop culture itself, video games, etc. We're going to start off with Dark Horse Comics. We got 2 books from them. Our first book from Dark Horse Comics is Crimson Lotus #3 by Mike Mignola and Mindy Lee. That book's been pretty dope. I've picked up the first 2 issues. I haven't read them yet, but so busy. Just been kind of stockpiling comic books. And Dark Horse has a new book this week called Weird. That's #1. That has 2 covers, and that is by Kurt Pyrus and Antonio Fuso. Cover A is by Antonio Fuso, and I don't know why it's saying cover B is by Jeff Lemire. I don't know if that's a error or what, but it is what it is, right? For DC Comics, we're going to start off with Action Comics 1007 by Brian Michael Bendis and Steve Epting. Steve Epting is doing cover A, and cover B is by Patrick Gleason. Batgirl 31 by Marguerite Scott and Paul Pelletier. We have an Emmanuel Lupacino cover for cover A, and Art Germ is back doing Batgirl covers for cover B. Batman Beyond #6 by Dan Jurgens and Brett Booth, which I don't pick this book up, but last month's issue and this issue I'll probably get just because Brett Booth is drawing it. Pascal Ferry is doing cover A, and Chris Stevens is doing cover B. Detective Comics 997, 3 More to Go by Peter Tomasi and Doug Mankey. We have a Doug Mankey cover for cover A, which is really nice with Batman with the Mr. Miracle mask on. And cover B is by Brian Stillfreeze, which I do not like that cover at all, but to each his own, right? The Flash 63 by Joshua Williamson and Raphael Sandoval. We have Raphael Sandoval for cover A and Howard Chaykin for cover B. That cover A is on point. Flash Annual #2 by Joshua Williamson and Scott Collins. Really don't pick up too many annuals or whatever. That's a Heroes in Crisis tie-in. Probably won't get it. Speaking of Heroes in Crisis, Heroes in Crisis number 5 by Tom King and Clay Mann. Cover A is a really it's a godlike cover by Trevor Harrison of Superman, and cover B, we have the Crisis Files of Jason Todd's death, well, supposed death, by the Joker, which is really nice. If you're picking up these books, you definitely should be picking up those cover Bs. Really, really nice. Justice League Odyssey number 5 by Joshua Williamson and Carmen DG. But it's going to leave it at that. And cover A is by Stefan Sajek, and cover B is by Terry Dodson, I believe. Justice League Annual number 4 by Snyder and Tinian, and art by Daniel Sampier, and one cover for that. Silencer number 13 by Dan Abnett and Sandu Flore. I've been picking this book up. It's one of those new Age of Heroes. That and the Terrifics is pretty much the only one that I'm really into. Make sure you pick that up. Teen Titans Annual number 1 by Adam Glass and Ryan Benjamin. And I guess Damian and the Red Hood have some issues to work out. The Terrifics number 12 by Jeff Lemire and Victor Bogdanovic. And this dude is on point. Follow him on Instagram. His art is fire. And our last book for DC Comics is Wonder Woman 63 by G. Willow Wilson and Emanuela Lupacino. And we have XR Monaco for cover A, and this cover B, which is currently sold out at Midtown Comics, by Kamone Shirahama. Oof, that cover is dynamite. Yeah, definitely need that in my life. From Dynamite Comics, we have James Bond 007 number 3 by Greg Pak and Mark Lanning. And I believe the only cover that I'm showing just happens to be an incentive cover, which is cover E by Dave Johnson. I'm really digging that. So that's it for Dynamite. Just got 2 books here for Image Comics. Skyward number 10 by Joe Henderson and Lee Gabbett. If you ain't been up on it, it's time to get on it. I believe at least the first storyline trade paperback is out for that. Spawn 293 by Tom McFarlane and Jason Shaw Alexander. Ain't too far to go for his 300. And Todd's been very verbal about the surprises that he has in store for that. For Marvel Comics, we're going to start off with some more X-Men stuff with a pain in the neck. The Age of X-Men number 1 by Zach Thompson and Ramon Ronsanis. We have a Phil Noto cover, and I believe I put up the Reyes variant of the X-Men Over the Earth. And I know they got a blank variant for that also. Lord have mercy on us all for these variants in these extra books. The Amazing Spider-Man number 14 by Nick Spencer and Chris Bachalo. Glad to have Bachalo back on The Amazing One. Like to follow his art. Ryan Otley does cover A, and we have a Guardians of the Galaxy variant by Gerard Perel. Very, very nice. Black Panther versus Deadpool number 4 by Daniel Kibble-Smith and Ricardo Lopez Ortiz. And I'm only showing cover A for that, I believe. And there is a variant cover by Lopez Ortiz. So if you're in a mind to get that, pick that up. Captain America number 7 by Ta-Nehisi Coates and Adam Kubert. We have an Alex Ross cover for cover A. a Conan's versus the Villains cover by Dave Johnson, and my favorite covers of this month are the Phil Noto Marvel 80th anniversary cover. And I'm going to make sure I definitely grab that. Doctor Strange number 10, which I guess it's going to be Doctor Strange 400 by Mark Waid, and that is done by a slew of artists. I have cover A by Jesus Saez, the Guardians of the Galaxy cover. The Kevin Nolan variant cover, which is incentive cover with a $20 price tag or more on it. And the Joe Quesada cover, which is very, very nice. I didn't see this before, but I'm going to put it in here. Journey into Unknown Worlds one-shot by Cullen Bunn and Matina and various other artists. I'm only going to put up cover A, which is by Mike McCone. The Man Without Fear number 5 by Jed McKay and then Leo Bayroth. That has 3 covers. Kyle Holtz is doing cover A. We have the incentive cover by Gerardo Zaffino and the connecting cover by Kamun Kohli. Marvel Knights 20th number 6 by Donnie Cates and Kim Jacinto. We have cover A by Jeff Shaw. Cover B by Mike Deodato Jr. The connecting cover of The Incredible Hulk by Kerry Andrews, and an awesome looking cover that is well worth the price of The Sentry by Jay Lee. The Punisher number 7 by Matthew Rosenberg and Simone Kugransky. Deadpool Spider-Man 45 by Robbie Thompson and Jim Toe. There's a slew more of those True Believers for Conan coming out. I wouldn't bother. Weapon H number 12 by Greg Pak and Guo Villanova. And I've been watching these videos by this cat Dope Spill on YouTube, and I haven't been into Weapon H, but apparently he's quite tied into some history with the Immortal Hulk and everything that's going to be going on with the War of the Realms coming through that Thor book. So, you know, if you are a reader besides a collector, I would definitely look into getting that book. West Coast Avengers number 7 by Kelly Thompson and Danielle DiNuccio. And thankfully that has one cover. X-Force number 2 by Ed Brisson and Dylan Burnett. I'm an X-Force dude, so I'm going to grab it. And of course, cover A is by the infamous Pepe Larraz, and cover B is the Guardians of the Galaxy cover. And I'm not showing it here, but Jerome Opina is doing a Conan versus Marvel Villains cover. And that is it for Marvel Comics. We got one book for our independents, and it is a favorite of mine, of course. And that is Bone Parish number 6 by Cullen Bunn and Jonas Scarf. And if you are not getting that book, you need to wake up out of sleep and get that book, because it's one of those that if it hasn't been optioned, it will be. And that's all the book for this week. Grab them, buy them, read them, and love them. And before we leave, I just want to say, I know it's probably all over the place. Greg Capullo's Reborn has been optioned, and I believe Sandra Bullock is connected to that. And, you know, everybody would probably want to go out and grab the book or whatever, but I'll tell you the truth. Grab the trade paperback. Me personally, I'm a Greg Capullo fan. Right when I had some extra dough, I grabbed the whole lot. And I got a couple of variants and this and that. The book is dope. if you're into sci-fi, fantasy, and all of that, it's going to be fantastic. And on that note, if you are going to grab Greg Capullo's Reborn, you should definitely grab, what's his name? Frank Cho's Skyborn also. Not in the same vein, it's a little bit more modernized or whatever, but it definitely has that strong fantasy, sci-fi feel to it, and I would definitely grab that up. Besides, his artwork is astounding, right? So before we get into our covers and book of the week, I believe tomorrow, if this video comes out when it's supposed to, Resident Evil 2 Remake is coming out. And for all my video game addicts out there, you definitely need to grab a hold of that game. It'll probably scare the living daylights out of you. And as for our kaboom for the end of the month, Kingdom Hearts 3 is finally coming out next week. So all of you Square Enix fans and all you Disney fans, make sure you pick that up. And I believe it is the first Kingdom Hearts that will be coming out for Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. So our covers for the week, me personally, I got a few here. I kind of got happy. We got our incentive cover from the Age of X-Men, with the X-Man looking over the planet Earth. Our Phil Noto cover for Captain America for our Marvel's 80th anniversary. That's always on my weekly list for that. Art Germ's cover for Batgirl, which we always love that. And Heroes in Crisis 5, the cover B, the Crisis File cover of Jason Todd getting ready to get blessed. Yeah, I really like that. And my number 2 cover for this week is Marvel Knights 20th anniversary, the Sentry cover, which that abstract blue, that negative space blue, is really nice. And of course, the cover of the week is none other than this gorgeous sold out cover of Wonder Woman, which oh man, I gotta definitely try to make sure my LCS has this, by Shira Hama. And you guys make sure you get that. And I did not pick a book of the week. So I will bid you guys a farewell for this week. I will try to make more videos than just this one video, but my life is swamped. It's very difficult, but I will try to have more and varied content. So until next week, I will catch you at the same bat time, at the same bat channel. Peace.